Welcome to another episode of Kettlebottom Outdoors. My name is Alex Azeredo, and I'm going to present to you everything that an archer needs to get out in the woods and get yourself a whitetail. We're going to start here. This is my bow. It is the RX1 Redwork series from Hoyt. 70 pounds. I love this bow. I've killed a few animals with it. It's a great tool. Next, we're going to move into the quiver. This is a 4-arrow quiver. I usually don't carry more than 4 arrows. This goes here right on the bow, so you don't have to carry that. Next, we're going to move into the releases. We have 3 different types of releases here. We have a back tension, we have a thumb style release, and we have the trigger release. Most people that are hunting and start to get into hunting start with the trigger release. You usually use your index finger. This is old reliable, but if you want to kind of move into a different advancement, you can get to the back tension as well as the thumb release. One thing all archers should have is a rangefinder. You want to be ethical, you want to be moral, and you want to make sure that you're using the right pin for that animal. I got a Nikon Aculon, very basic rangefinder, but definitely need to have this in your pack anytime you go into the woods or practicing. There's different adjustments that you always need to make with the sight or different parts of the bow. Here is just your standard Allen wrench set. This is always great to have, especially during practice when you're adjusting pins, your left and rights, up and downs. So this is always a great tool to have. I would get both the metric and the US style. Next, we're going to move into the arrows. You can fletch arrows, 3 fletch, 4 fletch, 5, 6, up to 8 fletch I've seen. There's 2 different styles of arrows I use. I use a full metal jacket. This is a 5mm arrow, very thin diameter, but you have a graphite on the inside of this, and on the outside it's a metal aluminum alloy jacketing. This is great. It's a pretty well balanced heavy arrow. Get good kinetic energy. The different style of fletch I use is a Blazer vanes by Boning, 2-inch vane. I like this just because there's less drag. I do all my own arrows myself, so I add these wraps. These are great, especially when you're practicing and you're working on groups. It's easy just to shave this off instead of taking that razor and shaving actually into the arrow. You're just basically just peeling the sticker off, this decal, and you can clean the arrow and put another one right back onto it. For nocks, which is the part that gets inserted into the string, this is just a plastic, non-lighted nock. I'll use these for practicing, but I do have here Luminox. As you release the string, this will illuminate and turn red, so you can actually watch this fly through the air. And as well as when you do have a successful shot at an animal, you can recover your arrow, and easier to track a blood trail and find out the exact spot where you did take that animal. This is a field point used for practicing into foam targets. Make sure every time you go out into the woods to have a broadhead on the end of your arrow. Never try taking an animal with this because you won't get anywhere. So we have 2 different styles of broadheads. We have a fixed blade as well as an expandable. For the fixed blades, I like to use the Muzzy Trocar for the sheer fact that the way it flies through the air and it matches up with these vanes. The cutting blades are smaller than the actual vanes, so it's not steering that arrow. The fletchings on the arrow are still steering it, and it's been a great broadhead for me, and it runs very nice, very sharp. Next, we have the Rage. This is the Rage Hypodermic. So it's an expandable broadhead, so when this thing is flying in through the air, these blades will stay together, and as soon as these blades are to hit an animal, they expand into a 2-inch cutting diameter, a lot bigger than the Trocar, and it makes a heck of a hole. Pros and cons of it are it's aerodynamic. It does fly a lot more true, a lot more straight than a fixed blade broadhead, but when you're trying to get an arrow through brush or tall grass, the fixed blade will definitely fly a lot better than this expandable, because once it hits anything, they will expand, and the slightest bit of grass will throw off that broadhead. So right here, I have these small collars. They weigh about 5 grains each. They're called a bar, broadhead adapter ring, and what that does is it gives you a true, nice, even fit from the broadhead down through this collar onto your arrow. Arrows run in different sizes, 4mm, 5mm, 6mm, and everything in between. So you want to make sure that you have a nice clean fit and no edges that would throw off the straightness of the arrow while it's flying through the air. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Kettlebottom Outdoors.